Good day and welcome to the kickoff for this year's Provost Challenge. You'll hear from Provost Hayes and Vice Chancellor Hardy in just a minute about this year's specific challenge. My name is Ron Mitchelson. I have the privilege of serving as Interim Chancellor. For years now, many educators, including me, have come to understand that literacy, let's call it book learning, is elevated to a much higher level than creativity. That imbalance is an issue. At ECU, we have tried to develop some balance between literacy, book learning, and creativity. For example, words like innovation and entrepreneurship have become increasingly important on our campus. I'm proud of that. We have the Miller School of Entrepreneurship. We have an honors college with innovation and design thinking as central themes. We have a living learning community called Horizons with innovation as its central theme. We are repurposing our old bookstore adjacent to Wright Plaza as the Isley Innovation Hub. And for the past few years, we've had this program, the Provost Challenge. I happened to be the provost when we initiated the program. The challenge is an invitation for teams of students to solve a university problem, to create a solution. As an example, the problem I asked students to focus on was university enrollment. How can we grow enrollment? How do we become a more attractive destination for students? Some of the teams focused on innovations within social media and marketing. Some focused on retention. One of the teams focused on innovations in financial aid. In fact, I worked with that team to create an income share agreement program here at ECU. That innovation is just now being implemented. Think of that. Students designed and helped to implement an entirely new approach to financial aid, and it's in the pilot phase for the fall 2021. I love it when students solve problems. Well now, all universities do have problems to solve. This year's problem is student well-being and mental health. You'll now hear more about this important challenge from Provost Hayes and Vice Chancellor Hardy. Thank you in advance for your creative work on this key issue. I'm expecting some great ideas to emerge.
Hello, my name is Grant Hayes and I'm the Interim Provost and Senior Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs. And it's my pleasure to be with you to kick off the Provost Challenge. The goal of the annual Provost Challenge is to focus on the three pillars that make ECU unique: student success, public service, and regional transformation. This year, the challenge is focused on student health and wellness. For many students, time at college is often a happy experience. However, for others, student life is not without its rough patches. Every student's situation is unique. There are many issues commonly experienced by students in college that can pose major challenges to academic, study, playing, socializing, and living. At ECU, our goal is to move beyond reactive, siloed, programmatic approaches and to establish proactive initiatives to improve the health and well-being of our campus community. By focusing on the whole person, the whole educational experience, the whole institution, and the whole community, well-being becomes a priority for all of us to tackle. As you begin to explore, analyze, and develop solutions for improving student health and wellness, please keep three things in mind. Have empathy for the people and communities you engage with. Listen and reflect. Develop connections that extend beyond the Provost Challenge that can impact our larger North Carolina communities. Thank you for your time, energy, and commitment to this challenge. We hope that you will take advantage of this opportunity to make a difference.
I am Virginia Hardy, Vice Chancellor of Student Affairs. This year presents a unique opportunity for you to think about innovative and creative measures for our campus to address the wellness and health of our students and the entire ECU community. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced us all to consider lifestyle changes, in some ways causing us to embrace healthier habits, like less eating out, cooking more, spending time outside, and for some, improved sleeping habits. At this time, the pandemic and its effects have also caused increased stress, anxiety, more feelings of isolation, and depression. The university is committed to our promise to improve the health status of our region and our state. Additionally, our investment in the health of our students is critical. This is your call to share transformative and creative ideas about the role the university needs to play to assure that our students remain healthy, fully engaged, resilient, and optimistic about their future. Many thanks to you for being a part of the Provost Challenge. Your ideas will help to guide ECU's efforts to enhancing the overall well-being of our students. We cannot wait to see your wonderful ideas and innovations coming together to create lasting change for our university. Thank you for your efforts.
Hello, entrepreneurs of ECU. My name is Lauren Thorne, and I'm excited to be a part of the Provost Challenge again this year, especially one that focuses on a topic that is very close to my heart, the well-being and health of our students. You see, after working for 5 years in the Counseling Center and the last 4 years in the Dean of Students office, a large part of my role has been working with my colleagues in addressing the unique needs and challenges that our students face, and together creating programs, workshops, and educational opportunities for personal growth and development. I am thrilled to include the Provost Challenge as part of this process, as I have seen firsthand how our students can be creative, innovative, and inspiring in the way that they support their peers and conceptualize solutions to the ever-changing problems this generation will face. Student health and well-being is by no means a new topic, but in the past couple of years, it has become a focus of many campuses across the country. Universities are seeing an opportunity, and honestly a need, to address their students' overall health and well-being in a comprehensive, coordinated way that doesn't isolate services or departments, but provides a continuum of options and meets students, staff, and faculty where they are. Just last year, there was a statement released by a dozen different national higher education organizations that issued a call to action to all of our professional communities and associations. One piece of that statement was recognizing the chance for collaboration here and the importance of incorporating well-being in our total approach. They wrote, by focusing on the whole person, the whole educational experience, the whole institution, the whole community, well-being becomes a multifaceted goal and a shared responsibility for the entire campus. I like to think that this call to action could be used for our Provost Challenge as well. And who better to do this than our students that have the lived experience of what wellness really looks like, day in and day out on a college campus. The most exciting part of this process is knowing these conversations are happening, and not just with those of us like myself who see well-being as a part of our job description, but by those who don't, whose roles and positions may be seen as strictly academic or administrative, but are still acknowledging that they can have an impact on the student experience and how our campus views health and well-being on a broad scale. So what do we know about the college students that you will be creating for? We know that this is one of the most diverse populations that ECU has ever seen in race and ethnicity, as well as other demographics, socioeconomic status, age, and life experiences. And the experience that has shaped all of our lives for the last 9 months, a global pandemic that continues to affect our daily lives and impact every facet of health and wellness. COVID-19 has sparked innovation, experimentation, adaptation, and research like no other world crisis. We have had to rethink the way we work, learn, shop, visit our loved ones, and attend college. Outside of the COVID impact, we are still seeing more and more non-traditional students, those who are pursuing college degrees after military service, transferring from community colleges, or finding a second career. That brings a unique set of needs that otherwise traditional age college students might not think about. How to balance the responsibility of being a student and caring for children, or an aging parent, or working a full-time job while also taking courses online. First-generation college students are also coming to campus in record numbers, defined as those whose immediate family did not attend or complete a college degree, and universities are providing additional resources and programs to help navigate these students through their college experience and encourage persistence to degree completion. We've seen broader representation from intersectional identities of our students, especially our Black, Latinx, and LGBTQ population, with significant advances at ECU, where in just the last 10 years, we have seen our LGBTQ office grow from a small setup in an empty office suite in Brewster to the largest LGBTQ center in the UNC system, with a robust catalog of programs, services, and recognition as a premier campus on the Campus Pride Index. We know that mental health is a big focus, and across the country, demand for mental health services on college campuses continues to increase, and universities are struggling to keep up with the influx of clients and their increasingly complex needs. There are a couple of theories about this. One is that we have reduced the stigma that has previously surrounded mental health services, so students feel more comfortable coming to the counseling center, whether that be for addressing family conflict, relationship concerns, anxiety, or depression. Another thought is that colleges, especially access colleges like ours, have accepted students who may have access to mental health services for the first time. With college prep tracks at high school and federal student aid availability, they are coming to college with the expectation that they can connect with services, and these offices are often ill-equipped with staffing and funding to handle the quantity and complexity of care that our students require. Speaking of financial aid, we have a student population that has grown up during the recession of the late 2000s and is facing an unknown job market with shifting expectations around company loyalty, retirements, and Social Security availability. They are wary of accumulating large amounts of student debt, but are also seeing annual tuition and fee increases that create a financial strain on their personal and family budgets. Many students work full-time or part-time to help cover extra expenses, but there is an ever-growing concern about the lack of financial literacy and students' ability to budget their financial aid refunds or make sound decisions that could have significant impact on their credit scores and other long-term factors. We've already talked about increased stress, anxiety, and depression. But there's also been an interesting shift in the last few years as students delay what many see as teenage rites of passage, getting their driver's license, going out with friends, initiating sexual encounters or romantic relationships, and instead seem to be content with hanging out online or gaming in the comfort of their own room. And this was before the pandemic. This can give a false sense of socializing and building a support network, which can create further issues as the student comes to college and lacks experience or practice of using social skills with their peers, or hasn't been exposed to certain challenges or obstacles. Resiliency became a buzzword used to describe this phenomena a few years ago, often associated with grit, as those of us who worked with students began to create programs that taught coping skills and ways to manage frustration, disappointment, failure, and rejection. If the first time a student experienced a failing test grade or a relationship breakup is now at college, and they lack the support from friends and are distanced from their family, the combination can lead to a panicky, floundering response that often leads to stress, anxiety, depression, and risky behaviors. Some of these risky behaviors that the media has publicized has been substance use, specifically vaping, alcohol, and using prescription medication or other substances to cope with, or really avoid, those negative emotions. Vaping has especially become the focus of many recent studies as researchers work to show how harmful and addictive it can be while combating marketing that is specifically designed to target our adolescents and young adults. East Carolina University has seen nationally recognized research on this from our Department of Health Education and Promotion, as faculty members are working to address design changes and advertisements that mislead users to believe vaping is safer than typical cigarette tobacco use. Overdoses, mixing of prescription medication with other substances or alcohol, and access to illegal drugs like cocaine or heroin continue to be public health concerns and have led to increased education about these risks, as well as creating recovery communities on campuses for those who are in treatment for addiction and seeking sober activities and support. Now, after listening to all of that, you may feel like I did when I first began reviewing the data. Overwhelmed, distraught, and burdened by what can easily be perceived as a lot of negative information. But there is a positive perspective to take, a silver lining that we've been able to find, and that generally boils down to this. In spite of all that, this generation is still motivated, engaged, and resilient, and they have found some amazing ways to follow up on ideas and create programs that are absolute game changers for their peers and this overall cohort. We've seen student-led initiatives around peer education and mental health conversations. They have embraced Down with Dog Days, a counseling center event featuring therapy dogs that had 92% of participants reporting positive benefits from attending. We've seen student volunteers increase at our Purple Pantry, an on-campus resource for those experiencing food insecurity and needing non-perishable goods and hygiene items, with almost 25,000 pounds of food distributed in the first full year of operation with 67 volunteers involved in service provision. Our Center for Leadership and Civic Engagement was named one of America's best colleges for student voting in 2019. Through the guidance of ECU's Student Government Association, we have implemented new resources like Better You, a downloadable app that encourages healthy actions and positive routines. And with the support of student ambassadors and the new Women and Gender Office, Pledge Purple just celebrated its 5th year of programming, continuing the annual week-long event focused on decreasing sexual violence, harassment, hazing, and bullying on campus. And this is just the beginning. I want to go back to that association-wide call for action I mentioned earlier and the line from the introductory paragraph. The authors suggested that while students must receive appropriate and reactive care when needed, there are large-scale benefits to proactive, upstream approaches that allow increasing numbers of students to flourish and thrive. This is your call to action for you, your peers, and your community to flourish and thrive. I cannot wait to see what the Provost Challenge creates in response to the information I presented. I hope you're inspired by the data and the stories I was able to share, and I look forward to connecting you with the resources and information needed to accomplish that next step. Let's innovate, let's think big picture, and let's change the culture of health and well-being for the next cohort of students at ECU.